Before we go to the next speaker, we're just going to unveil some boards back here so you get a sense of what we're up to. Back. So thank you, Premier. And before I go to Gregor, I just want to mention that this doesn't happen without the work of the Premier, particularly being a great supporter of the ministry that's trying to accomplish this. And obviously, you always want to make sure you thank the guys in finance, in the Ministry of Finance, because they're the ones that are letting us have the creative dollars to be able to do these things. And part of the relationship with finance was them being able to understand that these projects were also a legacy to the Little Mountain project that we're doing, so that everybody knows that the money that will come out of Little Mountain is going into buildings in the city of Vancouver for people with mental health and addictions, and it's actually a very important connection. At this time, I'd like to call on the Mayor of Vancouver, Gregor Robertson, who he and I have had many discussions about homelessness, mental health, and addictions over the last year and a half as we've tried to come up with solutions in his city. And I'd like to welcome Gregor to make a few remarks.
Thank you, Rich, and what a great day for Vancouver. It's an honor to be here as mayor and with some councillors, Councillor Stan Anton and Councillor Kerry Jang, I believe, is here on behalf of council. First of all, a big, huge thank you to Premier Campbell and Minister Coleman for bringing us together today, and most importantly, for this crucial step forward in ending homelessness in Vancouver. Today's funding commitment for over 1,000 new permanent supporting housing units from the province for the 8 remaining city-owned sites is great news for everyone. It's good news for the city, as we're seeing the most effective response to homelessness, which is permanent and supportive housing, get built in the downtown, in Mount Pleasant, in Fairview neighborhoods in Vancouver. And it's great news for the region as we recognize that homelessness is growing throughout Metro Vancouver and is a problem that afflicts the whole province. It's good news for the service providers as we deal with addictions, mental health professionals, those who rely on stable housing to actually service their clients and take care of those needs. Most of all, it's very good news for those who are homeless and in need of a home with supports, and those who are at risk of homelessness. Permanent supporting is absolutely essential to making positive change happen in one's life and to foster dignity and independence and growth. We're seeing a dramatic investment here, and it's one that has been long awaited and is certainly most welcome. Our goal in the city is to end homelessness by 2015, and with today's funding announcement, we're moving a lot closer to that goal. I want to acknowledge the work that both the Premier and the Minister have done along with their Cabinet, their Treasury Board, their Finance Ministry, their partners all in Victoria to make significant investments in housing right across Vancouver, and particularly today's investment, because today's investment is really about the solution to homelessness. And all of this is happening in the midst of tough economic circumstances, which speaks volumes to their commitment to solving homelessness. Our collaborations are undoubtedly paying off, whether it's with the temporary shelters, with interim and immediate housing, or this permanent supportive housing. The combination of city providing land and encouragement and the province funding the operations, and in this case the buildings themselves, is going to make a real difference. We have the ability to break the cycle of homelessness here in Vancouver and across the province if we focus on housing, and that is what we're seeing today. We know that there's been growth here in the city based on our March 23rd count. The homeless count in Vancouver showed numbers up by 12% over the last 2 years, which was very disconcerting. But we are seeing people shifting inside, and now with the commitment to build the permanent units to serve literally over 1,000 people with this announcement alone, we're going to see change in the years ahead. On my way over, I rode past the Station Street, or Main Street, project, the permanent housing project that the Minister and I dug the dirt on back last summer, the hottest day of the year last year. The windows are mostly in. We're seeing that project really take shape, and looks like it should be in later this year, early next year. we see people actually moving into those homes, which is a dramatic step and the first of the 14 that will be completed. We're seeing that this response to the challenges not only right on the street with opportunities to get off the street and into places like First United and the emergency shelters. We're seeing 400 plus people shifted from the street into shelters, and those people now have the opportunity to move into housing in the years ahead. And we need to see the bridge there from the shelters. I know the minister, Street to Home, and I have been working on these options for immediate housing that bridges the gap from shelters into this permanent housing, which is now coming down the road. That'll be a key piece that we work on over these months ahead. Street to Home Foundation, thanks for being a catalyst in all of this. It's crucial to have the support of the private sector. Very generous kickoff donation from Mr. Frank Justra, which I think has been a spark that lit this and has really made it possible to get it out the door today. I think there's a lot more work that we can all do in partnership together. It would be good to see some partnership come from the federal government as well, and I'm off to Ottawa to meet with big city mayors and federal government officials, and hopefully we see more efforts coming from the federal government to match the efforts that we're putting in place here locally and with the province and the private sector. I want to thank all of the nonprofit organizations who've been part of this, who've been carrying the torch, so to speak, on many of these efforts for many years, have been waiting for this announcement to happen. Now they can kick into gear and make sure that these projects are ready for people when the buildings are done. We are seeing 14 sites now, city-owned land. I think it's an important investment for the city to make sure that land is available. I want to recognize our tireless city staff who have worked hard to make sure that all of the approvals go through in record time. There's been fantastic work done to expedite, and we're going to have to see that through the rest of the way and keep up with the construction schedule now. So once again, thank you, Premier. Thank you, Minister Coleman. Much appreciated. We look forward to getting this work done and helping the homeless not just here in Vancouver but right across the province of BC. Thank you very much.